All right, y'all, we are back with another video. Now, before we get to the video, I know it look a little bit different up in my room now, according to where it used to look like. I'm in the process of changing a lot of things around. So y'all will see I'm gonna be having like new backdrops and everything. So that's what I'm working on now. It might look like this for probably the next few days, maybe a week at the most. But I have stuff coming in that I'm gonna like decorate the whole backdrop. So that's why it's looking like this right now, just to let everybody know. All right. But I definitely want to dive into this video right here about Candace Owens. Now, y'all know how much I love Candace Owens, how much I always say that this woman speaks her mind. She don't hold back. I don't care who you is. She will go toe-to-toe with you. That's why I respect Candace so much. I love her talking points and stuff like that. But she uploaded this video, and that title is what got me. She said, "This is the reason why I may never run for office." And you know, a lot of us said, what if Candace ran for president? What if she was the vice president for Trump when he win next year in 2024? Because I still believe Trump is going to win next year. I don't care about these indictments that they trying to put on him. I don't care about any of that. I still believe Donald Trump is going to win next year. He's already winning by the landslide. Is the reason why they're trying to take him to court, do all this dumb stuff, like this New York City civil trial stuff. It just, all of this stuff just to try to stop this man from running. But it's not going to work. But, you know, I definitely wanted to check this out to see what Candace's reason is and why she may never run for office, because we'll love to see Candace run, whether she vice president or she want to run for president. We'll take it. We love Candace. But make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. And I also want to thank everybody who clicked on this video for the very first time. I appreciate you as well. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it, y'all. Let's go.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a relaxing weekend. Today, I'm going to start the show by telling you why I may never run for political office. And it's got a lot to do with Mike Pence's response to the Israel-Palestine war. Plus, later on in the show, I'm going to show you an insane viral video where a black woman is encouraging her toddler to knock down the play set of white baby Karens, as she refers to these toddlers as. Yep, you are not going to believe your eyes. All that and more today coming up on Candace Owens.
Let's go.
You know, something I really miss about my grandparents and something that I really appreciate about older people is that they have the wisdom to pause and reflect and to think. They're such great listeners. Do you know what I'm talking about? It seems that with age, you lose your impulse, and what comes with that and what is replaced with that is this ability to actually pause and hear other people in their entirety. Like my grandfather, whenever I would share something with him and I'd be ranting and raving about something going on in the family, he would sort of take it all in. My grandmother would do the same thing. And even the sounds they would make, it was as if they were eating something, you know, and you really feel like you're being listened to. Why am I bringing that up? Because so much of that has been removed in the world, and not just because of our youth, but also because of the technologies that we have created. Social media, of course, it's all about impulse. You want to be the first to publish. You want to be the first to retweet. You want to be the first to have a take on something, the first to issue a sweeping statement on something, no matter how complex the issue is. Social media is always about being first. And over the weekend, I would say probably midday Saturday, when I learned of the atrocities that were taking place in Israel, I would say that the experience that I had on social media was a lot like this meme. It reads, "I'm done being an expert in Ukraine war. I'm now an expert in Israel and Palestine's war." Yeah, that's kind of how it felt. Everybody was racing to make a statement. And I want to be clear that even if you remove this particular scenario, you could replace it with many others that have occurred over the past, right? Okay. You know, the Me Too movement, 5 seconds to issue a statement and say that you agree with this movement. You don't really know what it means, but you better say something right now or else you want all women to be subjugated and raped in America. Black Lives Matter. Who could forget the litmus test, the black square test? Well, George Floyd died. You have 45 seconds to post a black square. We will assume that this means that you are a racist and that you support atrocities towards black people. You have no time to even understand the issue, but you do feel this sort of peer pressure to say something or to do something, not to sit back, not to listen, not to even try to understand what you're talking about, what the implications are geopolitically, why you're hearing from people that are not experts in the region. And why is it that so many of the voices seem to be conflicting? Now, when it comes to this particular issue, I myself have received pressure to post something, which is strange, of course, because if you follow this show, you know that we follow culture, that we talk about politics as it relates to America. You've never seen me weigh in on various wars that are happening overseas. And on this one, I definitely want to make sure that I take my time and that I make sure that I understand what's happening. Now, to be clear, making a giant and a sweeping geopolitical statement is different from exercising some level of humanity. I think what was most shocking for me in looking at my Twitter feed is realizing that people who support either sides in this, right, completely remove their humanity in order to do so, which I don't think is necessary, right? There are people that hate Jewish people so much that despite seeing the horrific images that were coming out of Israel, and they were horrific, despite understanding that people were being slaughtered, understanding that women were being raped, being able to see these images of bloodied women and bloodied children, they are so angry about Israel being a nation that they just went, I don't care, don't care. It's the Jews, so I'm going to pretend that I don't see this. It's incredible to me. How do you feel nothing when you see a child that, of course, cannot possibly comprehend any of the politics in their region, cannot possibly comprehend what is happening to them? How do you just feel nothing when you see them bloodied and harmed? And then to the same exact token, you had individuals who very much understood that and were rightfully enraged by this, who were basically calling for a genocide response, which would have elicited the same. More children that were bloodied, more children and women that were being displaced, but they were comfortable with that because that's just how it has to be in war, and that would be an even response. Or even if it was more extreme of a response, they said that's totally fine because I guess these people are Muslims and we should feel less for Muslims than we feel for Jews, or feel more for Muslims than we feel for Jews. Again, depending on what side of the token you landed upon. And really what was happening across the board and what has been happening is an utter lack of humanity. And I think in those circumstances, I find that when I can't get behind people that think it's fine because a Jewish person is dead, and because I can't get behind an individual that think it's acceptable to basically come within an inch of calling for a genocide of Muslims.
And like I said before, like, man, we all was upset. Like, that surprise attack that Hamas did on Israel, well, I mean, that just, like I said before in my last video, that pissed us off. That literally pissed us off. That they did that surprise attack shooting. I think there was like rockets or something like that. And then, like I said before, Trump came out and said, I blame Biden for that. You know what I'm saying? For funding these other countries. You know what I'm saying? Sending our resources over there. Trump came out and said that he blamed Joe Biden and he blamed Barack Obama for all of this. And even like I said before, if you go on Fox News, even Mark Levin, he went off on Joe Biden and said that Joe Biden is responsible for this. Because when Trump was in office, we didn't have this problem. It wasn't no wars. Since Joe Biden been in the office, I mean, it just been going downhill ever since. Ever since this man been in office, it's just been going downhill. It's always something happening. And then don't y'all know when something happened, Joe Biden never just jumps on it then. He always wait 3 or 4 days after somebody got to constantly tell him, hey, Joe, you need to speak on this. If you're the president of the United States, you're supposed to know what to do. And that's what Donald Trump was saying. Like, Sleepy Joe, he just don't know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what he's doing. Not at all. Why is it taking you 4 or 5 days to speak on certain situations, especially when it's something very, very serious? This man is not fit to be in office, and you see the reason why Bill Maher, them, all of them just turned on him. They know he ain't worth for nothing. They know that. We been knew that. But obviously, the Dems, yeah, y'all voted for him. So you get what you vote for. You voted for him. You know what I'm saying? But I really just don't get it, man. I really don't. But we definitely got to get Biden out of that office. I'm just saying, and everybody's been saying this since that man been in office. Just been stuff. It just constantly things just constantly happening that is bad. Every time you turn around, there's something happening.
It's best to remain silent, right? To remain silent and to allow people to step down from their emotions and to become more rational, which seems to be what does happen with time in any circumstance, in any political circumstance when emotions are high. Time is always on the side for the rational people. Now, I do want to point to this because there was one take on Palestine, Israel, that disgusted me so much and made me lose all respect for an individual that I had a lot of respect for, who I've done events with and done events for, that I wanted to bring it to the surface because it is such a demonstration of what it means to be inhumane, really. It was a stunning display of inhumanity, right? Of an entirely political, selfish, narcissistic perspective to have when you are watching innocent children, innocent women being bloodied, abused, raped, killed, tortured. This should be the last thing on your mind to tweet. But he tweeted it. And it was our former Vice President, Mike Pence. He led with this. This is what happens when we have leading voices like Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Ron DeSantis signaling retreat from America's role as leader of the free world. When I am president of the United States, we will lead from American.
Hold on. How the world is Mike Pence gonna blame Donald Trump and Vivek and Ron DeSantis? See, he's doing this to think this right here is gonna help him in votes or something. I can just tell just by saying that. You can't blame them for this. So you telling me you're gonna blame Donald Trump, Vivek, and Ron DeSantis and not blame Joe Biden at all? All he's trying to do is, I guess, everybody that he's running against, he's trying to throw them in the fire and trying to gain votes. Oh, Mike Pence said this about Trump. Let's vote for Mike Pence. That's the reason why Mike Pence is already at the bottom of the bracket. You was once Donald Trump's VP. Oh, now you want to go against him. Now you want to talk down on him. If I'm Trump, that would have made me feel like, damn, this how you felt the whole entire time you was around me? You were just waiting for your opportunity? And now something like this, devastating happened like this, and now he want to come out and try to blame it on these three individuals. Mike Pence needs to stop, man. And it's crazy that you're going to name these three and not put Biden name nowhere. No. This all he's trying to get some votes. That's what he's trying to do.
This is what happens when we have leading voices like Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Ron DeSantis signaling retreat from America's role as leader of the free world. When I am president of the United States, we will lead from American strength. Yep. Mike Pence saw these images. Mike Pence understood what was happening in this region, and he thought, can I get votes for this? So what I'm going to do is I am going to blame the people that I'm running against, including a man who I supported for 4 years in office as his vice president.
That's what I said. You supported Donald Trump for 4 years. That right there makes me believe right there that this man, Mike Pence, is looking for an opportunity to take down Trump. Because if I'm Trump, like I said before, I'm thinking like, wow. He really didn't like me this whole time, and he was on my side for 4 years. And I just said the same thing Candace just said. I didn't even know she was finna say that. But I just knew when he put them names, I'm like, okay, he putting down names of the people that he's running against to think that votes gonna come off them and go to him because he made that statement. Because he always down at the totem pole. Ain't nobody even talking about Mike Pence. So he gonna try to throw Vivek and Trump and Ron DeSantis in the fire to think he gonna get votes for that from that. No, you're not getting votes from that. We just talking about when you become president. You ain't gonna become president. Mike Pence, you're not gonna become president. That right there makes a lot of people lose respect for you when you do something like that, especially at a time like this, and you want to throw Trump and DeSantis and Vivek in the fire over making that type of statement to think you're gonna get votes off of it. Like, come on, man. That right there was a stupid statement to make. That right there was very, very stupid.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to blame the people that I'm running against, including a man who I supported for 4 years in office as his vice president. I'm going to say that because these people hold perspectives, or some of these people, I actually don't know how he can possibly correlate Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy when it comes to foreign policy issues. But he did it because he thought maybe I will get Jewish Americans to vote for me if I say this would have never happened if I was your president. It is sick and it is demented. And it is so much so the reason why when people ask me if I want to run for politics, I think people who run for office, I've seen time and time again, a lot of them, too many of them, become monsters. They have no humanity. It's all about scoring points against the people that they're running against. And the absolute last thing that anyone should be trying to do is blaming this on Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis or Donald J. Trump.
Exactly.
So as we all pause and reflect, and I think that the most acceptable thing for anyone to do right now is to pray for innocent lives, pray for innocent people, and to pray for true justice.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean social justice. That doesn't mean Twitter justice. That doesn't mean following my favorite commentators justice, but actual justice under God. And that's all I have to say about that.
Shout out to Candace Owens, man. She's always dropping a bomb. Shout out to Candace, man. That's the reason why I respect Candace so much, man. I'm telling you, her talking points are just spot on. It's golden. And I would love for her to run for office, but I understand what she's saying is about a lot of people turning into monsters. Some people change. Not saying Candace would change, because I don't believe she would change. I think Candace would still be the same Candace. But she like to be her own individual self, go on her panel, on her podcast, and say what she got to say without having to be held back from anybody or somebody trying to tell her what she can and cannot say. She like to be her own boss. She want to go on her podcast and say whatever she got to say, and I'm all for it. I support Candace 100%. Hopefully one day we can get her on the channel, y'all. So that's what I'm working towards as well in the future, to see if I can get a Candace Owens interview on the channel. That's going to be very, very big. So I am working on that right now to try to see if I can make that happen. I know it's not easy because Candace is a busy woman. She's busy, and plus, like right now, she's pregnant and stuff. I think she said she's like 8 months. So, you know, she got a lot going on right now. So eventually in the future, hopefully I can get her on the channel, you know, for some questions and stuff like that. That'd be very, very dope for me to do. But hopefully I'll make it happen, which I believe I will. But, you know, you just never know. But we'll see. But I want to thank you all for watching. If you did make it to the end of the video, like I said before, I'm changing my room around. That's why I look like this right now. I know it looked plain, but it's going to be changed. The whole background going to be something. I'm coming up with something to do in the background. So y'all just bear with me. Like I said before, it might be like this for like a week, a few days to a week at the most. So I got stuff coming in that I'm waiting on and stuff. But just making a little changes. That's all it is. But thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. I will leave the original video in the description. Make sure y'all go to Candace's channel and check it out. And check out the original video. Let her know that I sent you. And I'll catch y'all next time.